people are leaving and not coming back.
Right, because they're frustrated.
Because they're frustrated.
Yeah.
This isn't working.
It's not a great experience.
It's not a great experience. So we've got something that we've created where we can help engage that user right then and there and say, hey, don't leave. We'll give you a coupon that is good.
Yeah. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to remind you guys that the biggest affiliate marketing event in the world is back for 2025. It is Affiliate Summit West, and it is going down February 3rd through February 5th in Las Vegas. Guys, if you want to meet and hang out with 7,000 of the world's top advertisers, affiliates, publishers, sellers, tech providers, networks, all in one place, you have to be at Affiliate Summit West. And right now, as a listener of the Boost podcast, they are hooking you up with 15% off of your ticket. Just use the code BOOST15. That is BOOST15 when you register. Save 15% on your ticket. The link is below and in the description to grab your ticket. Now, guys, Affiliate Summit West is the home of affiliate marketing because after all, 76% of affiliates prefer Affiliate Summit West over any other event. I'll be there. I hope to see you there. Use the code BOOST15. Save 15%. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Boost presented by Grommet. I am your host, Greg Rollett. Really excited for this episode here. I got Jeremy Aaronson from UpsellIt. Thanks for doing this today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
It's going to be fun because now we're talking about conversions,
Yes.
right? We've been doing a lot of conversations about traffic, right? Traffic's great.
Yeah.
But if nobody buys anything, it doesn't matter.
Right. You got to do something about it when they get there, right? Yeah.
Exactly. We were just talking before we had the film that you and I, we've both been in this industry long time, right? 20 years or so. And so give me a little bit of the background. Let's set some context for what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So my name is Jeremy. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of UpsellIt.com. We have been celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. So we've been doing this for quite a while. But yeah, just going to talk about what we see out there, what we do, and how we kind of help people to convert. Yeah,
which is what we all want. So, I mean, let's just jump right into it. So when you're looking at this right now from like a big global perspective, what are some of the top factors that you're seeing right now? It's summer 2024. What are some of the things that you're looking at from a high level when it comes to conversion boosters?
So what we hear right now is what it's always been, but really everyone's really honing in on it, is just partnerships, right? How do we partner with each other? Publishers partnering, advertisers partnering together. Like we got to help each other out, right? It's the only way this business keeps going. And so a lot of that is relationships being built off those partnerships and new things I think we're going to start seeing come out of it. I think there's been, I want to say stale, but there's been some things that have kind of been stale for a little bit. And I think people are trying to find new stuff. And I think we're going to start seeing some of that coming up soon.
You think some of the partnership stuff is because just rising costs, things are getting more expensive to do, but also the inherent trust, right? Like we've been talking with a lot of publishers today. They like, if I'm trying to sell that coffee mug, I can be like, I have the greatest coffee mug. But if you say, hey, Greg's got a cool coffee mug. So I think it's both pieces, right? Like rising costs plus trust. Do you think that's part of the relationship partnership thing?
100%, especially for brand to brand. So I think you're going to start seeing more brands collaborating with each other, something that's been done in the internet space for a very long time. But I think traditional e-commerce is just starting to kind of find out about some of that. Yeah. So I think you're going to start seeing people partner together like a meat box company and wine companies, right? How do they work together? They don't compete. But how do they, again, like you said, give that credence to that brand and suggest it? And because of rising costs, everyone kind of make money off that partnership.
And is that a partnership like affiliate partnership, a performance partnership?
Yeah, so I think you're seeing people try to figure that out right now. You see some people kind of doing it on an affiliate partnership where there's like a rev share going on, which is something that we're starting to kind of dabble in a bit, as well as people are doing it more on like a CPC model as well. So I think they're trying to figure out what makes sense for each of the brands so that everyone's making money on it.
Yeah.
And like you said, helping reduce costs, right? Because cost per acquisition has gone through the roof. Everyone's competing on that. So how do they still bring in new revenue and still go after what they were doing, and that's traditional media buying.
Yeah. So we talked partnerships. What are any other changes or trends that you're starting to see? I mean, 20 years in this world is a long time, right? That UpsellIt's been out there, and even they're 18. Like, what are some things that you're starting to see either come into fold, come into fruition that are kind of trendy right now?
Well, data's always been king, right? But it's what you're doing with that data. So people are starting to, I think, dive in a little bit more and try to figure out what to do with that. Coupons that are out there, how do they make sure that they're not over couponing? How do they make it the experience on the site so that users aren't getting frustrated by coupons that are out there and not working. So a lot of that data that they're seeing, I think people are starting to do something with that as well.
We're going to dive more to data, and I might as well just jump into it right now. Is like, I think what you just said is super important. Is everyone's like, yeah, we got to get data, but they don't know what to do with it. And I think that's the number one thing that's stunting the growth is like, we have all of this data. Yeah. How do I use that to create a better ad or a better shopping experience or a better product page or better copy? And so how do you look at that? How do you help them to understand what it is that we're tracking?
Yeah, like you said, it's you have to actually use that data. And I think another problem is you have so many different people in an organization touching that data a lot of times that everyone's got different ideas and you kind of have analysis paralysis, right? And so I think you really need to take a look at it from the top down and look at it segmentally, right? Like look at one segment of data, like we were talking about coupons, right? How do you look at that coupon data and then what do you do with it, right? Making sure that that user experience is correct by not annoying a customer and using that to go out and cancel your coupons that shouldn't be out there, that aren't working and whatever. So it's really, like you said, taking it and doing and running with it. But like, there's tons of data points and I think you just
not only tons of data points, but there's also tons of platforms that are giving us the data, right? Like we're getting some subset of data from Meta for running ads. Yeah. We're getting data from Shopify. We're getting data from email. We're getting data from fulfillment. We're getting data and so piecing all this together sometimes is a problem in and of itself.
Well, so talking about partnerships, it's got to be partnerships internally too, right? Everyone kind of getting together and how do we take your data set and our data set and make it work? And that should help control the conversation of, like you said, going out and buying that media if you're doing it correctly, but we got to talk to each other.
Yeah. So let's talk about needle in a haystack. Let's talk about hitting gold. Like as you're working with clients or whenever you're working with these businesses, what are some hidden gold opportunities out there in the data that can inform those business decisions?
So we generally work with traditional e-commerce, and I keep touching on it, but it really is that couponing, right? And making sure that we are giving the right ones at the right time and not giving out too much, so that we're not going into our margin, right? And so I think if you're able to bring that into your technology stack somehow, whether it's working with somebody like us or somebody else that's doing something like that, because a lot of times we get the data, right? We got Google Analytics, you can see we got all of that, but if we're not actually using it, right? So I think the gold really is sitting down and just digging into it, right? And you have people working for you that are smart. You should be able to take that and extrapolate from it and know your own business and where you should go with it.
Yeah, I think that's really important is like actually spending the time, right? Which is hard sometimes, right? Like we're running 100 miles an hour.
Well, and with the way things are today, we're sometimes running with very tight ships, right? We don't have the people that we need, so we're wearing tons of different hats or whatnot. But I think sometimes we need to take a breath, and I think the gold comes within us, right? To be able to take that time to do what we need to do. We know what we need to do, right?
Yeah,
we just got to do it.
Yeah, it's like the slow down to speed up, right? Yeah. Which is what it always is, and that creates an opportunity now is like this slow down to speed up is like right now is a great time to slow down because Q4 is literally right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
So what are some key things that, whether it's publishers, e-com brands, whatever it is, that they need to keep top of mind or that you guys are helping your clients keep top of mind, thinking about and prepare for Q4?
I always tell people you got to button up your funnel, right? No matter what it is that you're doing. You got to make sure that copy is in the right place, that copy is good, test all that copy before now's the time to do it, right? Because once Q4 happens, there's no more of that, right? It's go time.
You don't have time. It's just coming at you. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I think, making sure your checkout, making sure your cart, making sure everything, whether that's, products that you want, people to upsell, whether that is just making sure, like you said, couponing, making sure couponing and all that stuff is working. It's really just buttoning up the funnel because if that's not working, you're dead in the water.
What are some things like right along with that? I mean, again, this might sound elementary, but like, what are some things that we should be testing now to prepare for Q4? Like you said, like upsells, like your upsell strategy, like you need to button it up now, right? Like maybe you want to button up your email funnels and tighten everything up. Your coupon, like what are some things to tighten up now that's going to give you an advantage going into Q4?
Yeah, I'd say your partnerships, some of the partnerships I maybe been putting off, now is the time to test those, right? So find, like I said, brand-to-brand partnerships or something that you want to put in your cart to help upsell, or making sure your buckets are tight in terms of product upsells on your own site, right? If you've got multi-SKU site and you're selling, dresses, make sure those shoes are ready to sell because people are ready to buy them, right? It's Q4. You got to put that in front of them. So you got to make sure those product recommendations and all that is in place. And I think that's definitely definitely a big one, right? Because a big goal is not just conversions, but increasing that AOV.
Exactly. Yeah, get the sale, but if you didn't get any margin on it, like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What are some of the things you guys are excited about at UpsellIt? Anything new that you guys are introducing or have introduced that just you're excited about right now because of what it can do for brands?
Yeah, so kind of going back to what I was saying about couponing, that's a big one for us, and that we are giving brands more of the power to see real time where their coupons are coming in from. And more importantly, making sure that user experience is correct. And what I mean by that is if someone puts in a coupon and they try it 8 times, we're seeing that sometimes with our data that we provide, that people are leaving and not coming back.
Right, because they're frustrated.
Because they're frustrated.
Yeah.
This isn't working.
It's not a great experience.
It's not a great experience. So we've got something that we've created where we can help engage that user right then and there and say, hey, don't leave. We'll give you a coupon, that is good.
Yeah.
But the most important part, going back to that data, is saying, hey, here's the coupon. This is where it came from. How are you going to fix this, right? Go to your publisher that's still pushing it, saying, hey, I told you to take this down a month ago, right? Or, hey, maybe this publisher is pushing one that they shouldn't have. You can go to them and say, hey, here's a different one, or hey, why don't you work with us directly?
So what do brands maybe mistake about coupons or get wrong about coupons, or what opportunity is there within couponing? Because again, for the smaller brands that are watching this, it's just like, I don't know, we got a 10% off one, we got a retargeting one, but I assume especially as you grow larger, they're everywhere, right? So what do you guys see from that side?
And that's just it, right? Is controlling that everywhere and controlling that story, because you do have a lot of brands that are scared to jump in because they don't want that to happen. They don't want it to get everywhere.
It becomes a mess.
So that goes back to looking at that data and being on top of it to make sure that doesn't happen. So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. What are if you're advising a brand right now, what are 2 to 3 things that you would tell them, like, hey, let's put this in play right now to most effectively use data, use insights, and start boosting some conversions?
I think your email remarketing strategy is a big one. If you're not doing it internally, find a third party. Don't be afraid to use a third party. If you don't have the time, like we talked about, there's partners out there that will do it for you, right? You just got to find the right one that works for you. Again, AI, just amazing AI technologies out there for product recommendations, making sure, again, if you can't do it internally, you don't have the time, use somebody else. You can always bring it in-house at some point.
Yeah.
But you just got to go do it.
Yeah, that's the half of it, right? It's going to do it. You still have to execute. You still have to be a really good operator in this space to see success. Anything else that's kind of coming to mind that you think would be really helpful for brands to kind of know, or conversations that you're having with brands that, this needs to be top of mind?
Geez, that's a good one. I feel like it's still the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we're still kind of searching for what that next new thing is.
Which is crazy because, like, there are only so many things that we want to optimize. Right. Like,
we can't do too much.
We can't do too much, and we can't fix and, tinker with 30 different things. And we're not, you fix your couponing, you fix your retargeting, you fix your ads. Like, you do some of these big rocks, all the other dominoes start to fall, right?
Exactly. Yep. 100%. So I think, if you look at the data, if you look at the emails that you're collecting, if you use that correctly, I think that's a big part, right? Because you can get them in the funnel.
Yeah.
Then use some of these conversion optimization stuff that we've been talking about or that are out there. That'll help you kind of button up the entire funnel like we were talking about.
Yeah, love that. For brands that are watching this, maybe unfamiliar with UpsellIt, what you guys are doing, what's the best way for them to maybe learn more, demo? Like, what's that whole process look like?
Go to UpsellIt.com.
What a good one, yeah.
we have tons of data there. We have tons of case studies. We're very big on data and case studies and showing that to people and what we find that's working and not working out there. Talk to us. We're there to share data, not even just to work with us, but like what we're seeing, specifically for your vertical, right? Because we're with everyone, right? It's traditional e-commerce, internet marketing space, you name it, EDU, we've got it. So we've seen a lot. We've been doing it for 20 years. So we've got a lot of insights that we can really show you.
Yeah, your website is like a wealth of knowledge. Like, even our team was sending me links as, we were getting ready for this. And he's like, check out all these videos. Check out all. I was like, oh my God, they have so much stuff. Like, but that's great because, again, you can kind of choose your own adventure. You can see where it fits in. And then your model, I think, speaks to what we were talking about earlier, is like, hey, instead of paying us this ridiculous retainer and hoping that we're good at what we do, how about we just prove that we're good at what we do, and that's how you're going to pay for it. And I love that.
Base. 100% of the time we've been on performance based, and that's just it. And that's kind of our motto, is let us prove ourselves to you, because we've been doing it for so long. We know what we're doing, and we have the confidence in knowing that we're going to help you out. What we do is really take a look at each client. We look at their funnel. We do a gap analysis of what they're doing, what they're not doing, and we'll show that to them. And we even once we're kind of live or getting going with our tag on the site, we can do a full data analytic report as well to say, hey, this is where having people abandon the site. These are the products that people are looking at. This is what they're not looking at. That will provide a lot of insight to them as well as kind of direct them to where they should focus their time.
Yeah, I love that. Performance-based. They'll do these analysis, find that gap in the marketplace. You proved it to me today. I'm excited to see how you guys can help us out on the grommet front and really find these optimizations, these conversion boosters. Jeremy, thanks so much for hanging out. We got all the information below. Check out the link. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Boost presented by Grommet, and we'll see you in the next one.